ragazzi, my name is Orville, and today we are going to talk about my first impressions on The Division. Usually when I do first impressions on betas, I would have like gameplay showing, and it would basically be like a review, but on a beta. I've never really like played a beta, and next thing you know, decided to get the game afterwards. For example, I played the Star Wars beta, but I didn't get the game. I played the Rainbow Six Siege beta, but I didn't get the game. But after when I played the Division beta, I really want to get this game. It's my belief that video games revolve around three things: the story and characters, the environment, music and acting, and the gameplay mechanics. This is how I review games. It is also my theory that a video game only needs to be perfect in two of these categories in order to be considered a really good game. For example, in The Last of Us, it was really good in its story and characters. It was really good in its environment, music, and acting. The gameplay mechanics were good, but they were very simple, and yet it is considered a masterpiece. So I was wondering why people were so interested in The Division, and I thought that maybe they were interested for its gameplay mechanics. And I was right. The Division's gameplay mechanics are really good. When it comes to story, the beta didn't really give much. In order to know what's going on, you really need to watch the trailers and watch some of the video game interviews that they had with the developers of the game to know. All I know is that in The Division, New York got hit with a virus and it's quarantined. And because of that, a bunch of bad guys started coming out. So now there's this special program that was initiated a while back, and now it's activated again. And it's known as the Division program. The Division needs to try and restore New York back to what it used to be. Now there wasn't really a lot of character customization in this game, but you could randomize your character. Now there are also characters in the game, like NPCs and AIs and stuff. So it's really cool how you can interact with them. Let's talk about the environment, music, and acting, which I feel like is one of the two strongest points that the Division has. Let me just tell you that the beta was huge. It was like 26 gigabytes. There were a lot of places that looked like New York, and I've actually been to some of those places. They would be like, weather storms coming out of nowhere, and that really just blinds the player. So it gives both the enemy and the player an advantage in terms of cover. The environment is actually a really important factor when it comes to the Division. Players need to use the environment as a way to shield themselves from, enemy fire. Okay? This is why The Division is a cover-based game. The music is also really good. It also makes you feel like you're in the heat of battle. The acting is also really good. When you play The Division, you actually feel like an agent. It feels realistic, when you're going into cover and you're peeking out and you're shooting at enemies. Now let's talk about The Division's most important feature, the gameplay mechanics. Each agent has skills, okay? There are three types of skills. There are medical skills, there are support skills, and there are tech skills. An example of a medical skill would be like Pulse, in which you can scan for enemy AI and try to take them out. An example of a security skill would be like to have a big ass shield. And I think an example of a tech skill would be like launching a turret on the ground and then just shooting random enemies. Each skill has mods, so it's like a different version of that skill. There's a version of Pulse in which it's doubled in its radius, and it even scans for loot. There are even different versions of the tech skill. So instead of just launching, an explosive on the ground and detonating it, you can launch an explosive on the ground and wait for an enemy to approach that, and then just boom. You can find medical supplies, technological supplies, I guess, and security supplies. And in order to find these supplies, you need to play through, missions that are based on either medicine, security, or technology. Unlocking these mods. And what's even better is that The Division does something that a lot of MMOs do not do. Okay? In The Division, you can actually impact the scenery of the game. For example, for those of you guys who actually played the beta, you all know the base of operations, right? By collecting medical, security, and technical supplies, you can use that to upgrade the base of operations. Upgrade it to its fullest potential. This is something not many MMOs do. In fact, the only MMO I think that's going to do this is EverQuest Next. Not a lot of MMOs let players actually impact the game. Now, when you approach a civilian, you can give them a resource and they'll give you a reward, right? Now you can find different resources, candy bars, water, etc. And these resources you can use in the heat of battle. Now, there were a lot of things that they didn't show in the beta. Something I found interesting is that you can craft your own gear. But something I did not like was the amount of resources that was, around the area. There weren't a lot of resources to collect. I was hoping that the Division would be like, itself, but sort of like The Last of Us in terms of finding resources in almost every nook and cranny and using that to your advantage. For the developers of the Division, if you're watching this, please put more resources in the Division, okay? There needs to be more resources scattered throughout the areas. There are also side missions, and there are also, encounters. One encounter is rescuing a couple of hostages. Another encounter is uploading some data about the virus. When you beat all the side missions, all the encounters, the only thing that's left for you to do is just going into the dark zone. But it sucks because I really wish this beta, I wanted to find enemy bases and just try to eliminate them. So hopefully in the full game, we can find enemy bases and try to eliminate those bases. That way the enemies take control of the city. I really hope that they make an effort to make sure that the enemy AI try to take over New York City, and that it's up to the players to actually go to their hideouts and destroy them. Don't save that for main missions. Let that be a thing that the player needs to do. Force us to find enemy bases and actually destroy them. Now let's talk about the Dark Zone. For those of you guys who don't know what the Dark Zone is, the Dark Zone is this area where players are able to meet other players, and players can just kill each other, basically. It's really cool. You can invite your friends to your group, go into the Dark Zone and find really, really good loot. Then what you need to do is find an extraction point and extract that, but also defend against enemy AI or enemy players. What's also cool is that a player from a group can leave the group secretly and then just kill its group members and then have all that loot to himself. I also hope that the Dark Zone has way more resources. All in all I really want from the full game is more resources, more side missions, force us players to find enemy bases and destroy them. Now, I am afraid for the Division, because when I played the beta, it was very similar to Destiny. In the Destiny beta, they gave us so much stuff to experiment with. And then when you played the full game, it was the exact same thing. There were only very few things that you couldn't do in the Division beta. But I'm afraid that even the things that you couldn't do are going to suck when you actually do them in the full game. You guys know what I'm saying? I am afraid that the Division is going to end up like Destiny. So please do not let it end up like Destiny. I really want this game to succeed. I really do. Guys, that was my first impressions on the Division beta. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hey, if you played the Division beta, give me your thoughts or tell me what you hope that the game will offer that the beta did not. Alright guys, I'll see you later.